Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of DT on Call. And today we've got Aaron Goldman, CMO of 4C Insights with us. Hey Aaron, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good. Thanks, Viji. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Just wanted to have a quick chat with you about some of the things that you're seeing, pandemic and otherwise. I guess before we jump into those questions, let's start with how did you become the CMO of 4C? What was your path? How'd you get there?
Yeah, I've been with the company about 5 years now. And for the 5 years before that, I was the CMO at Kenshu. So similar type of role, looking after global marketing for a company in the marketing technology space. And then backing up from there, I was on my own for a couple of years. I had a consulting business called Connectual. I wrote a book. I've got all the different translated versions of them strategically placed on my shelf.
Nice.
Everything I know about marketing, I learned from Google, and then some other languages that I can't pronounce the title in. And then prior to that, I was a part of Resolution Media, which is where we got the pleasure of getting to know each other. And at Resolution, by the end of my time there, my role was focused on marketing and partnerships. But at the beginning, it was more focused on sales and account management. And then prior to that, the beginning part of my career was in sales for one of the early online ad networks, L90. Shout out to anyone who remembers that name. So if we back up even one step further, and then I'll bring it full circle, at college, University of Illinois, I was in a fraternity with Matt Spiegel and Lance Newhouser, who ended up being two of the founders of Resolution. And now Lance, of course, is the CEO at 4C. And so kind of mixed business and pleasure throughout the career.
That's great. So I see you've got a bunch of marketing channels on your shirt. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. I'll back up so you can see them all here.
Yep.
So 4C, we built a platform for brands and agencies to be able to operate paid media within any of these closed ecosystems, as well as a few more. This shirt's now a couple of years old, and I would need a full nightgown, I think, to show all the platforms we plug into. But we also play in the Amazon ecosystem. We have roots in linear television. We're also doing connected television and over-the-top television. And essentially the common thread is closed ecosystems where there's controlled access for both brands as well as consumers. There's also an element of being able to apply data to strategies and close the loop through to measurement. And then ultimately having native advertising opportunities so that the experience feels like to the consumer something that's much more just generally immersive, and that ultimately leads to better ROI. So I threw a bunch of acronyms and buzzwords in there, but that's what we as marketers do, right?
Yeah, it is. I understand. And I was following, so it's all good. So I guess going along that train, where are you seeing increased engagement? What are some of the strategies that you're thinking about right now?
The brands we work with, we're seeing a lot of consumer time spent, the consumers that they're trying to reach going into these platforms. We're all kind of sheltering in place and spending a lot more time in our homes. And so the platforms that we are spending our times on, whether it be streaming or social or video, engagement's way up. And we're seeing advertising engagement up as well. I was just looking at some stats on Facebook and Instagram, and the click-through rates on ads in both of those two channels are as high as they've been in the last couple of years. So
Wow.
Clearly people have more time to spend engaging with content, engaging with advertisers, and that bodes well. At the same time, of course, you have a lot of marketers who need to be carefully managing expenses because in this economic crisis, you have to be very careful about your outlay and make sure that everything you're doing has some attachment back to revenue. And so from a 4C perspective, what we've tried to do is just continue to help educate, take a lot of the data and insights we have, best practices, benchmarks, make those available to brands and agencies so that they can adjust their strategies as needed within these ecosystems. And then also just trying to find unique and creative ways to just sort of stand out and add value and bring a smile to some people's faces, because that's probably what we need more than ever. Since, I've got my virtual water cooler here set up. You were kind enough to join me on an episode of one of those. And those are the types of things. We're just trying to be a little more authentic, organic, and creative in how we approach and get our message out.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And what are some of the strategies you think you will continue post-pandemic? What are some new things you've done that you think you'll be sustaining?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that sort of organic and authentic approach. Not everything has to be super high gloss production quality. We've always, tried to position ourselves as, the premium enterprise software and have a certain, sort of polish and packaging that goes on it. But I think now there's just an appreciation for just tell us what it is. We don't have to get into, all the pitch theater and the, fancy demos. Let's just get right into it. Let's log in. Let's have a chat. We can all be, wearing our work from home scrubs for all we care. It's not about that extra level of pomp and circumstance. I think, and that's really how, in the tone and the way that we're going to reflect ourselves and the way we approach the market and our customers, we're just going to try and really just, keep it real and get right to the point.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. You've seen a lot of marketing strategies across your career. If you could have one do-over, what would that be? I
would say that it would have been early in my career. I mentioned L90, one of the early online ad networks. And we spent a lot of time just continuing to chase consumers on behalf of marketers. So we chased them to email and we started peppering them with, emails. And then we chased them across the web. And we were the typical example that everyone uses of like the pair of shoes or the pants kind of following you around, even after you already bought them. We did a ton of pop-ups and pop-unders, the things that really just annoyed the crap out of people. And we were experimenting. It was early, but ultimately it was a game of cat and mouse rather than a true pull-in value add type of approach. And at the end of my time with L90, we'd gotten into search or search had gotten into us, as the case may be, because by the end of it, L90 had, we had acquired DoubleClick's media network and then got bought by the Excite network, who got bought by Ask Jeeves. And so that's when we found ourselves squarely in the search space. And search was this great pull channel and the value exchange to consumers. You didn't have to chase them. They told you exactly what you were looking for, what they were looking for. And if you as a brand had a match, then of course you could deliver on it. And that was, the construct that laid the seeds for Resolution Media and the whole SEM market and industry as we know it. And I think if I could have gotten into that mentality sooner in my career, rather than it being like the chasing of consumers, it's the how you pull them in. Because that mentality, I think, has certainly proliferated. And now we move into a world where there's a million devices, a million channels, and you might be tempted to get back into that chasing game. But instead, being patient, understanding the value exchange and what you can provide as a brand to your consumer and meet them where they are, ultimately provides unlimited potential and ultimately ROI.
That's great. Great insight and also great advice. So, I don't know if you're like me, but I've been picking up some different habits from working from home, including preferences for certain things to eat, like Twinkies is my favorite thing. What have you been preferring?
I made a miraculous discovery at Costco about 3 or 4 weeks ago when everyone was going to stock up on toilet paper. I found out in the freezer aisle, they sold Auntie Anne's pretzel dogs.
No, really?
By the dozen. And so everyone else was rolling up to the checkout with, their essential goods. I had 5 boxes of Auntie Anne's pretzel dogs and I'm about halfway through, but so far so good.
That's awesome. Can you, for old time's sake, wrap us out?
Oh, yes, of course. Here, let me cue it up.
All right.
With my fart in a can.
Okay.
Yo, it's AG and I blow because that's how I go. Billy Bass keeps the beat and I do it slow. I'm with Viji and DT15, gonna do it up, got sight unseen. It's always been great to see her face, but now we gotta erase these rhymes I bring to your face. I'm gonna shave, no I'm not, just a little, gonna quit it, gonna get it, gonna whittle it down, away. The insights, hey, and that's how we're doing 2020. Let's get better, all right? Cheers.
Thanks, Aaron.